Hello again, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Game Pass Grab Bag, your weekly podcast reviewing games from the Game Pass collection, bringing you three unique perspectives from varying skill range. I am the foreman of this operation, Andrew. With me, the one who always causes the accident meter to go back to zero, Keith.
Hello.
And the scab of the factory, our returning guest, my brother, Aaron.
Hello, hello.
And this week, I picked the game. There's a handful of games I play that I absolutely love, but I'm always like, I don't know if this would be an interesting episode. But you know what? I'm going to start picking these games because people need to start playing them. So this week is the first one. I picked Techtonica. Techtonica is from Firehouse Studios. Techtonica is a first-person factory builder game where you are playing a person who wakes up from a cryosleep. You're on an alien planet, but you're on the center of this planet. And you wake up and everyone's gone and you are trying to figure out what happened to the factory, what happened to all your crewmates, you know, what's going on. And you need to try to get back to the surface so you can try to get back to Earth. But man, I'll ask you guys. I'll let you guys start here. Was this a gamer pass for you?
I mean, the glee in your voice, the amount that you love this game and that you picked it, I think really tells everyone everything they need to know without hearing much further. This is a game that I could recommend to a very certain subset of people. People like you, Andrew, people who like these styles of games. It's not a game for me. It is not designed for me. I went hours and hours playing, and within 15 minutes, you had my whole operation running. So it's not a game that's built for someone like myself. I don't do well at them. It's neat, and once I kind of saw things and got things going a little bit, I was like, okay, this is kind of cool, but it's not something I would see myself going back and spending a lot of time on.
Well, okay, one of the reasons I did pick this game is because I remember when we played Core Keeper, both you and Liz were talking about, where you're like, man, I just love like doing the tedious stuff. So that's why I was like, this game is kind of a lot of tedious stuff.
A little bit. And I don't have a lot of bad things to say about Techtonica. As a matter of fact, I probably have more good things to say about it. It's just as an overall, do I want to play more of it? Not really. And would I recommend this to everybody? Not really. But there are absolutely people I would recommend this for.
Is it me?
Yeah, go ahead, Aaron.
All right, this is a pass. But we should actually take a moment on the front end of this, though, and put at least a little bit of caveat. Keith hit one of the caveats, which you can do pretty much on every video game ever created, which is this game probably just isn't for me. So that is one caveat. The other caveat is we do need to remember this game is still in preview. So anything I do say is strictly just based off of what I'm seeing here in the preview and not in whatever the final build of this game may look like. This game was a mess to me. And we're going to get more into the details here, but I'm the opposite of Keith, where I think I probably have a way more critiques than I do actual good things that I enjoyed about this. I was pretty annoyed and frustrated with this game pretty early on. And that just began to stack on top of each other. And again, we're going to get into those finer details here because obviously Andrew loved this thing. I did not. I understand I've got a role to fill on this podcast. With Liz gone, you need a noob. And I'm not a noob. Obviously, I've played video games as long as Andrew's played video games, but I've fallen into certain genres I really love. Andrew is somebody who will taste a little bit of everything. I'm not. So again,
an aficionado.
You're an aficionado. I am not. I didn't get to shoot any guns in this game. Well, you kind of get a gun, but
you can, yeah.
Yeah. So, but in general, like this just isn't my type of game. This isn't college football 25. So, so coming in from a noob's perspective, somebody that has played Minecraft, how did I enjoy this game? This game was an absolute disaster for me. Just an absolute disaster. So I struggled a lot with this. I did not have a ton of fun with this. I have a lot of issues that would, if you are new to this type of game, I think you will also have a lot of headaches with this.
Man, I'm really curious. what you're gonna say because all right. So you pointed out that this game is in preview. This is one of my not even gripes. It's just kind of an annoyance. So the main reason I picked this game, I've been playing this game for a while. It has actually been on Game Pass for a while, but it's been in preview. Still is in preview, but it just came out with its 1.0 patch. So in all intents and purposes, it's
Mm.
essentially kind of done. Still does not have achievements though, because they said, "Oh, we're still in preview." It isn't that literally the definition of a 1.0 patch is that your game's done and you're not in preview anymore. So it's just kind of a little minor gripe of mine where it's just like you're at a 1.0. That's not preview anymore.
Typically, if anything, it goes the other way around where they come out of preview, but they're still not a 1.0, and
Yeah.
then they'll release the 1.0. But yeah, I thought that was weird that they don't really have it out of preview, but they have the 1.0 version. So that's where I'm curious how much will change. I assume some bugs, and I didn't really run into a lot, but
Yeah. Well,
there's
I mean, I got a good amount, but
yeah.
it's
Well,
gotten
you played a
better.
lot more and did a
I
lot more things.
Yeah. Like I said, I've been playing this game. I think originally, I think when it came out, it was like a patch point 4, but they've done a lot of patches. Obviously, it's now at 1.0 patch. So for me, this is obviously a definite game. This honestly could honestly be a desert island game for me. Yeah, this is one of the few games I could ever play. I find this game so addicting. I have played this game so much. I have restarted this game because with like every once in a while with a big patch, they kind of would have to reset the world and I would lose all my progress. Didn't care. I would start from scratch. I have restarted this game like 5 times. Even now, with
Well,
how much I've built,
you can
Keith
kind of
started playing
start to speed run the game at that
a little
point.
bit. I know I kind of am a little bit. Well, with this 1.0 patch, the big difference, this map used to be one big map. So the 1.0 patch, they have now changed it where it's all floors. So you're now using this freight elevator and progressively going up on floors, which is making small segments of maps, which is a good idea because when it was one big map, I was getting crashes all the time because there's a lot that's going on. So there was just their way of fixing it of just like, hey, these are smaller segments and you can connect them all together.
That definitely makes sense because there was a point we had talked about playing this probably about a month ago,
Yeah.
and I had played an hour and a half or so. But then they had one of the patches. Well, that was before the 1.0 patch, and so I lost all my progress. Had to start over. I think I probably had that within like an hour. But the first big thing I did notice was the elevator was there. I was like, wait, what? I don't remember this. But then I remembered the second area that I went to, so I was a little confused. But that makes sense.
I, See, I'm kind of glad though because you're going to be a historian here.
Yep.
Because that was going to be one of my critiques. It makes sense why, like you said, they would have made that change. Okay, that makes sense. But that's one of my frustrations with the game is when I'm playing a game like this, and I know that like the easiest, the lowest hanging fruit to grab onto is say like, oh, it's kind of like Minecraft. There's a sense of exploration that comes with that is absolutely devoid in this game. In fact, when you're in an area, let's say first floor, you pretty much can do almost everything right where the base is. You've got these little avenues, you've got these little areas to go, but there is zero reason to go check those areas. There's zero reason to explore, and there
That's
isn't
not true.
much to explore.
There's
Well, what
there's
am I
there's
missing then?
hidden chests that have
Okay,
very
but
valuable stuff in it.
yes, there are chests. I wouldn't say they're hidden, and not every area has them.
Every area had them. If
I
you
mean,
opened your
like,
map, there's a green blip, a little tiny
I
green blip
mean,
that
like,
kind of tells
not
you.
every nook and cranny
No,
of the map. That's what I'm saying. So, and all you're doing is going and getting a chest. So, but even then, they weren't like hard to get to. Nothing was like, I don't know. To me, I'm like, I'm expecting, oh, okay, let's go explore this thing, and then I'm just like, oh, wait, that's it, and it makes sense what you're saying, right? It makes sense why you turn this into different levels and you're progressing through it. And I was kind of on paper okay with that. I thought the progression was kind of an interesting way of kind of handling this. But I just was expecting to do a lot more exploring in this where you didn't need to. And that's not really what this game is.
See, I almost wonder then is the intention then to be a little bit more about the story?
Yes, this game
Like
has a very good story. I
like
actually really like this game's
like
story.
where it's kind of a base building style of game a la Minecraft. It's not, and I know you weren't trying to say it's just Minecraft ripoff by any means, but it's like I think it's really intended to focus on those floors and telling a story as you climb and get to the surface and whatnot, more so than doing this. Now, if you're like Andrew, you're just gonna enjoy rebuilding the same thing over and over again. And I guess, I don't know, maybe trying to find a more efficient way of doing it the next time around, just speed running it. But for someone who wants to just play through it once, I think you doing all of that additional stuff is just going to get you there faster. If I
So you guys keep describing this game as Minecraft, and
I
I just say that's like the easiest comparison. I called it a
okay,
low hanging fruit, easy comparison. You
it,
literally
it,
start the game with a pickaxe. So it's
yes,
kind of
and
like hello.
and I also
So
said it
yeah.
wasn't like Minecraft.
yeah. So this
No,
is kind of a new genre of a game. It's a factory building game. Have you guys ever played any of them?
yeah.
Well,
There's a
yeah,
lot of
there's
those coming
like
out now. Yes.
Factorio is what I was thinking.
Factorio, Satisfactory is the newest one that just came on PC. That's been pretty popular. There was an indie game that was on a Games for Gold called Autonauts.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have that one.
Yeah, that was, you could argue, is a factory builder game as well. But yeah, this is kind of like a new genre. So I do agree. It is, because I've actually described that a little bit with some people too when this game. Because when I say, oh, I'm playing Techtonica, with that kind of name, it's just like I have no idea what that is. What are you playing? And so that is, I agree with you, Aaron. It is kind of something I'm saying of like, oh yeah, like, it's like Minecraft where you're getting resources, but it's way more than that. And it's not just,
Oh, it's barely about that.
it
Like,
is. It's all about building a factory and having things set up and figuring out your logistics.
and okay. So here's going to be another critique, and it'll just kind of be, again, kind of my first time experience with this. In my opinion, now, and this is where the contrast is kind of good. You've been with this for so long. So you've gone through the years. I was coming in fresh, new. I have never played a factory building game. So this was my first experience with it. Um, I definitely needed way more handholding than this game was providing. I felt like the instructions themselves were not necessarily super clear on how or what I could do to things. Let's take, for instance, you get to the elevator. On the side, it kind of like tells you, hey, you can put one of the purple connectors here. But I'm like, what? Okay. So I put one there and I'm like, now what? Now what's it do? How's that? And then it kind of explains to you, but again, kind of, hey, you can actually have things shipped from other floors here. And I'm like, how do I do that? And I'm kind of clicking around trying to find these things, which leads me into a second issue that I have, which is this. It feels like the stupidest thing to have to critique. These menus are a disaster. There is information everywhere, and it is not clear what I'm looking at or what I need to even be looking at. You've got kind of an interesting looking tech tree that's built on different levels, but then it's also got multiple categories. And then you've got one that's just a wall of text. Then I'm like, what am I even looking at here? And so there were just a lot of things that were probably trial by error. And you've probably learned it over the years of you playing this. Where me, I'm like, I don't know what it is. Like, it's introducing new stuff to me, but I'm like, I don't really know how this works or how this applies to this thing. And eventually, as you're getting further down the levels and it just kind of keeps throwing more things at you, I kept having to go back to other floors to get stuff all the time because I'm like, I don't know how to get things from a floor to another. I don't, it's, it really does not hold your hand at all.
It doesn't. No, it doesn't. But I I'm curious to get your guys' perspectives on this. So even like way at the beginning of this game, never much of a tutorial. You are getting tutorial via the story.
Yes.
As I said, you're waking up as a person who doesn't speak, but you instantly get on your headset. Somebody's communicating with you. Someone from your crew. Her name's Sparks, and she essentially is giving you the story, but also teaching you things. And the
Yes.
objective, as soon as you exit out, there's a big old building in front of you, and she says you need to repair this building. So you have an objective that appears on your HUD. You need to insert iron and copper ore. So naturally, so even though the game's not like, here's like, you need to do this and that, like it obviously tells you pretty easily, because this game is all about context. Literally, as soon as you wake up, there's a window and there is a picture of a like destroyed assembly line. So that right there is them telling you this is what your setup should look like. The game itself doesn't say, hey, stop, look at this. This is what you should be doing. But it's in context. There it is. This is how maybe you should feed your smelters. This is how you should get the ore to them. Here's how the conveyor belt should be laid out. It's there. It's like it's a picture. And then even too, when you go out to the main area, there's broken mining drills at the iron, at the copper, giving you a hint. Hey, maybe you should put, your mining drills there. Same with the inserters. The inserters are right by the doorways of the mining drills. Maybe that's how you get your ore out. So the game is all about context. It's not holding your hand saying, now put this here, do that, press A to jump. Like you don't have that kind of tutorial. So I agree with you, Aaron, that it doesn't teach you a lot, but I always found, like, even I remember when I first started playing this game, I didn't think it was hard to figure out.
So this is I think one of those interesting things where, like Aaron was talking about, the context of how much you play these styles of games, because I think that that's where having a lot of experience like you do, Andrew, you're just like, okay, you instinctively know, look for what things need to be combined. How do I combine this to get to this tree, to this tree? And like reading those trees is like reading a second language that you've developed, where someone who doesn't have as many hours into these styles of games is going to struggle a little bit. And I haven't, like, Autonauts is one, it's similar, but that one's actually weird because if I remember, it's almost like programming as well.
Yeah,
Like
Autonauts was more programming.
yeah, so that was actually kind of an interesting different one, but it was a lot of factory style type things. And I don't know, I think we've played enough genres of games that touch different aspects of this that, like, I think I kind of understand the language of these games, because I noticed that image, and I instinctively know, hey, I don't need to just build one smelter. Like playing, whether it's My Time at Porsche or whatever these games that I've been roasted over the years, I'm like, all right, no, I'm building a handful of smelters, I'm building a handful of drills. Like I'm gonna actually do this, but then stopping to look at like what I have to do to build the conveyor belts and all these things, I'm like, I don't fully understand this. It's going to take me like 30 seconds to just move the stuff. I'm just going to build it all close to where it needs to be, and I'll just manually mine as efficiently as I can. And I was mostly getting by. Now, do I know that I was doing it wrong? Yep. And then did you join my game and I just looked over and all of a sudden there was things happening? I was like, "Oh, that's
It's
how
fun.
that all works."
It's funny. I remember I joined your game, and I just like I was like I gotta play with Keith. I know he's got to be struggling, and I saw your thought process. Like you had conveyor belts at the doors of the things, but you needed obviously the inserter to take the things out of it. And like then I just saw you just had a bunch of just random smelters, and I'm like, Keith. I was like, he's struggling here. I was like, I gotta help him. And
I was doing my best. There was
yeah,
points I literally just stopped and I was just watching you. It's like, "Oh, guys, he's attaching that there.
Watching the
Okay."
maestro work. Yeah.
It was basically like watching a YouTube video in real time.
Yeah. I and I do want to be clear. I am coming in as the noob in this, where this was not, and I understand what you're saying with the context. Like I understand that, and keep in mind, I knew 0% about this game when you said let's do this one. I downloaded it on my Xbox, and I just started running through it. And again, so my mindset, I see pickaxe and I'm like, oh, all right, it's gonna be some type of like Minecraft setup. So I didn't go into it thinking, oh, this is gonna be a factory thing. I figured, oh, I'm gonna be mining, I'm gonna be exploring, I'm probably gonna be doing some base building. That was kind of my thought process, kind of basing off of, kind of what the early introduction to the story looked like.
yeah.
But I again, it just kind of kept introducing things to you, but not necessarily like I would have loved if while it was introducing something to you, it showed you it in action. like an inserter. Show me it in action what it's doing so I can, oh, okay, I got this. It's got to go here. It's got to do this. Okay, that makes sense. And it was the fact that it really wasn't doing that. And I'm sure I appreciate that it's got a character who's basically talking you through a story, but also introducing you to the things. But she's not a tutorial. She's not. She's very much a character and a part of the story. Um, so I feel like when you sent me an image, Andrew, and we joked about this today, you sent me an image from your game, and I said to you, we are playing two completely different games
Yeah.
because what you were doing was nowhere close to what I was doing. I am way more manual than what you were doing because I wasn't quite sure. Like I could get all these conveyor belts, I'm putting them all over the place, but I'm kind of like, are they supposed to go somewhere? Do I put them or do I collect them somewhere? I'm not, because none of that stuff is really laid out for you. So I struggled with it, and I started to find myself getting more and more frustrated because the more it introduced things to me, and that was a whole other thing. You're building these research balls, these purple research balls. I felt like I was completing them, but then I would go into my tech tree and it wouldn't let me discover it, even though that was the next thing to discover. But I'm like, I just I just built enough of these. What, I forget what the purple balls are called. What are they called?
They're called research cores.
Research cores. That's what they are. I knew you knew the technical term for the research balls. Uh, tech balls.
Gotta gather the balls.
Yeah, so I'm collecting these things, and I'm just going into the tech tree, and I'm like, what am I missing here? I'm meeting all of the requirements here. It is the next thing. Why can't I just complete this? What is this?
Were you not putting them down?
No, of course I was.
The game literally teaches you that. She's literally in the first area. She's like, you got to build the research cores, and she's like, and put them down with the other research cores. There's a little cluster of research cores. Okay, so then you were putting them down.
Yes, I was just putting them on top of each other and around each other because I'm like, yeah, you just kind of put. I don't. I'm telling you, it was just, and I'm looking in this menu, like through the menus, and I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm missing here. I don't know why I'm not getting this. Like, I had the hardest time on just the second floor of, like, I think it was like the thresher or something like that. Like, I could not build a dang thresher because I'm like, I'm missing something here, and I'm not really sure what I'm missing. But I was able to
go, and this is the annoying part. It's because you need to go to the third floor to find the thresher.
Freaking knew it. So, because then it allowed you.
Yeah, because Andrew taught me this, is that when you're looking, it tells you what floor you need to go to when you're on the research menu. Sort of thing. It's not intuitive, but then once you realize that, you're like, oh, okay, I realize.
I'm sure it would make sense if I saw that, because I kind of figured that's what it was trying to get me to do. It's weird because it's giving you a task, but there are multiple tasks. But I could complete the drill bits to drill to the next floor. But again, by the time I'm there, I'm like, I still haven't completed this dang thresher back here, though. Do I need to come back here? Like, what am I supposed to do with this?
So this is going back to what you originally said of how you wish there was exploration. So this is how the game originally was, when it was a big open map. So someone like me who's played the game, I was kind of speed running. I could be like, all right, I know where the base location of this is. I can do this location, find these things, and kind of speed the game up. So this way, this is the way the developers kind of slowing you down a little bit with this freight elevator, that you have to drill the freight elevator to go to a floor to find the technology. Now, I do agree with you at first about, like, it would be kind of nice to explore and feel more of this world like it was back in the day. But this also was a massive pain in the neck back in the day when I didn't know where things were. Okay. When I didn't know where things were, like, you are just searching random caves everywhere. The game very rarely kind of gave you pinpoint locations. So you're complaining about the threshers now. Back in my day, you had to, like, search numerous caves looking for whatever building. And then I found a building, and oh no, that's a building with the Mark II smelters. And I'm like, well, I don't need those right now. Where are the dang threshers? And it just took forever. So this way, they also have these floors. So I told Keith this is new. This is part of the 1.0 patch. If you go to your tech tree, you need a scanner to scan things. Like, if you're like, oh, like, here's a broken new type of drill, you have to scan it. This is very much, if you played Subnautica, it's the same concept that Subnautica did, where you had to find broken pieces of a thing, scan it enough. Now you can learn to build that thing. It's the same concept. So In the tech tree, it shows you like, oh, you need to scan the thing to find it. But if you put your cursor over it on the left side of the screen, it says, oh, it's found on floor 5 by the research facility or floor 6, the barracks. Like it actually gave you a hint of a location as to where to go. So it made it way easier. And also, too, there's little like PDAs, little like pocket tape recorders that are like shining a pink light. Those are now all in buildings. Back in the day, they were not. They were in a random floor in a random cave buried under rocks. It was almost impossible to find them. And there was no indicator on the map, nothing. So there was actually a lot of technology that was hard to find unless you went online and searched it up. So that's a new thing they changed in the 1.0 patch where they just made everything way easier to find.
I Yeah, all right. I mean, when you put it that way, that sounds pretty miserable. But
It was. But it
again,
was fun exploring.
coming in fresh, it still was not. It just I don't know. I wish it were. I wish it did a little more hand holding. I needed it. Like I needed to get a better understanding of what a functioning factory, how it works. I'm just getting a bunch of, because it throws a lot of stuff at you. Like there's a
It
lot
does.
of items,
Yeah. So I
but
will agree with your earlier point of the menus too. The menus are kind of a mess.
because there's like 5 tabs, 5 or
No,
6
there's
tabs.
like there's like 8.
Yeah, so it feels like you're
And
flying through
some
all
of
these
them have
tabs.
like each of them have like 5 more within them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you kind of get to the point where you're like, all right, need the tech tree, and then I need the inventory tree. Like I need those 2 areas the most. Um, but I don't know. There were just a lot of things that were a mess on that front. So it was very difficult for me. I was finding myself getting more and more frustrated with it because I knew I wasn't doing it right. Like I knew things weren't right. So I'm just kind of like popping things around to see how this works. Like, what is this? How does this do? Like, will this help me? Does this do something? And meanwhile, I'm looking at the objectives and I'm like, all right, how do I even get to that? Like, how do I do this? Like, and you could see like I needed some of these things, but I'm like, well, where do I go get those things? And then I'm putting down research ball cores, and
So
yeah,
you never got the research composer, did you?
no,
It's a
I don't believe
it's a
so.
big structure. That's where you're supposed to store your research cores.
No, I'm
Like
just
it literally
tossing them
stacks
on
them
the
for
floor.
you. Oh yeah. You
I'm
got
just I'm hanging them just in the middle of nowhere.
so that was the picture I sent you. You probably saw I had like these 2 massive towers of research cores.
I mean, you had like yours looked like a vibrant living city, and
And it is. And that's
mine
what I
is
love about
not.
this game. Like, I'm sure if you looked at my picture, it just looks like a complete jumbled mess.
It
But
does,
I
but
I literally built that thing from the ground up, and I could literally looking at that picture, I'm like, oh, that's my Atlantean or belt. Those are my drill bits. That over there is my plant matter. Like, and that's over there is my thresher area. Like, I know my entire web.
no,
But this is what I love about this
I did
game,
not.
though. Is so I'm with you, Aaron. Of like you were doing everything manually. That's how when I first played this game. That's how it was. I was very much just like, oh, I'll just build these because you yourself can craft things. So I'm just like, oh, I'll just build things and just do it this way. And then I realized like this is taking way too long. And this game just naturally makes you be like, all right, this is getting frustrating. I need to automate this. Like I want my assembly to do this, and that's how I grew with this game of just learning that I just got annoyed making things myself, and I'm like, I should be having the robots do this. Go do this for me.
See where this like I could see why. Again, I don't want to go with this caveat because you could say this for everything, but I could see where this would be fun for somebody because if you don't want a hand holding experience, you want to go in and just figure this stuff out. If you're a tinkerer, like to me, this feels like a game for tinkerers. People that
But it
just
is,
want to
yeah.
tinker around with something and figure it out how to maximize this and how to make this function. Obviously, again, the game Andrew is playing is not the game that I'm playing because I am not that. I'm looking at the thing just like I don't know what these things do. I just got like a bunch of little pieces that are supposed to go to this thing and make things work. And I don't know how this is functioning. Like I don't get it. But I can see your argument as to why you at one point were me but you just cared enough to work your way through it. Me, I was just getting frustrated and just wanting to get away from it because I'm like, this is just, I don't know what's happening. And I don't really know how to make this game progress further than I am right now.
See, like even, and that's kind of what I was saying with like once I had a little bit of a taste of like, you know, some of these conveyor belts really operating in an efficient manner, watching how they were, I started to build off these little branches and I was doing things. And Andrew, you joined a little bit again this afternoon. So you kind of saw what I was
Yeah,
doing.
and
And
you were doing better.
I
You did much
was.
better.
It no, and that's part of where I'm going with this is that yes, I was doing better, but there was a certain point I've reached where I was like, I have no idea what I did, and I had like three of what is it with the assemblers that were just going to one location but not really building something. So I was like collecting that manually and then just switching and putting that stuff back to build another thing so that I could build like the purple drills. I had a system that was going, but it was still it was like a very me system of like, well, I'm just gonna sit here and collect things manually. But I had a lot of things being automatedly built.
Yeah, because I saw some of your conveyor belts had mixed resources on it. So
Yeah,
when
I
your inserters
started.
are grabbing those things, it was stopping your line because they didn't need the thing, and you literally were just causing a jam on your own thing. And I was just like, "Oh, Keith." So I was literally like shifting your things around. I'm like, "Okay, Keith, no, no, you have this pointed the wrong way. No, Keith." And I literally was like going around and trying to fix your like mess that you made.
But like that's where I'm saying like even as it got a little bit more fun when I was like, okay, I kind of know what I'm doing, and I started to like have a little bit of vision, I immediately still just fell into the same thing of like, well, this stopped working. I'm not going to try and fix it. It's just this is just how it's going to be, and it's forever half working the way that works for me. But don't ask me how it works because I'm just going to keep doing it my way.
You can't explain how your factory functions, but it kind of does.
Exactly. Like it's doing a purpose, and I'm fairly efficiently making things, but don't ask me to explain it on paper because it's not going to happen.
So, Andrew, I got a question for you because obviously you are the master at this. I was pretty much done by floor 3 and wanted nothing to do with it. Uh, does it have a conclusive story? Like, does it actually get to the end?
Haven't gotten to the end yet, but that was
What?
supposed to be the big thing with the 1.0 patch, is that the
So,
story is supposed to be concluded.
how many floors are there?
I think 20. I'm on floor like 17.
Interesting. I'm kind of shocked because when I saw how many hours you had played, I'm sorry, how many days you'd
Yes,
played,
I have 4.5 days.
I was super confused by that
Well, this is
because,
obviously from multiple times I played this.
well, oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't know that until now. Like, because again, you just dropped this game on us, and I was like, oh, okay, we're all starting from the same spot, is what I thought. And then I looked at us like, what the heck? Andrew's been playing this game. I've never even heard of this game. And meanwhile, he's got multiple days put into this thing. So I was kind of curious if the story is actually pretty good when it gets to the end, but sounds like you haven't gotten there yet.
I mean, from like everything that I've done with the story, I like this game's story. I think this game's story is actually interesting.
Do you ever
Guys,
find other people?
yes. You guys, I was going to ask if you guys if met Paladin yet, but obviously you haven't. If you guys haven't even got past the third floor, but no, the whole story, as I said, you wake up as this guy, doesn't speak. And of course, too, I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, you're probably going to be a robot or an alien or something like that, which they actually make jokes about it. So, you end up finding the person who's first talking to you. Her name's Sparks. You find out this whole big thing is that she's dead, but she is trapped within a alien cube. And so she's able to communicate. Her memory is a bit fuzzy, but she knows she does remember some things. She remembers who she is as a person. She's next to her dead body. She knows that's her body, and so she starts to explain some things, and you as a character don't speak. And they actually make the joke of like, oh, you could be, a big collection of drones just shoved in a suit. So they kind of make a joke about it of like, yeah, we get that you're not an audible person. But no, then eventually you meet Paladin, who was actually the captain of the expedition. Then you meet someone named Mirage, who is a scientist. And then I'm pretty sure there's another character,
Are
Pacific. They
they
always
all
talk
in
about him.
cubes?
Yes. I mean, I'm like, I don't know if I should spoil it, but yes, they are.
I kind of
I mean, they
figured,
kind of show it. They show you in the cover.
yeah, I kind of figured you didn't have you didn't see a lot of human models in this game. Like, obviously, you see a couple dead bodies, but I kind of figured they would probably come in a different form.
Yeah, but so you're meeting at least a handful of people, but there's still the whole mystery of why is everything so decrepit? Where is everyone? This was a crew of thousands of people and nobody's around. You're finding, yeah, like I said, these few members in their bodies, but you're not finding anyone else's bodies. And the whole premise of the story is, kind of typical of Earth, is running out of resources, is in desperation. This planet side, like it's a small planet, appears in the solar system called Calyx, and you guys find out it's full of resources. So you are part of an expedition to go to this planet, dig up the resources to send it back to Earth. But you don't know
As
what
Earth
happened.
does.
I'm
As
sorry.
Earth does.
Is this Avatar?
I know. It's like it's a very kind of typical story. That's what I was thinking too. I'm like, not very original. Well,
So you
I
actually
will
found out that
say,
you're controlling a giant blue alien.
No, my favorite thing about Avatar is the resource they're going after is unobtainium.
unobtainium.
You can't obtain it. It's unobtainium. Like, what a name.
But we're gonna get it.
Yeah. You can't. It's unobtainium.
But I will say, I mean, as far as I can tell, it's not a like, oh, humans bad industrializing and sucking the resources out of a planet. As
No,
far
it
as I know.
encourages you to make factories.
I know, unless at the very end they pull that, I would be annoyed because I'm like, come on, that's a very
That the
lame
whole game
story
you're actually
trope.
destroying the planet.
Yeah,
And
and you're
at
like,
the
you need
end,
to
you actually
stop.
kill it.
Yeah,
That would be genius. You're the bad guy the entire time. You don't realize it.
I love this game's story. It was part of the reason why it also kept me going. Like I wanted to know more, and I still this current run. I wouldn't be surprised if I'm probably at like 23 hours.
That is crazy. And that's 23 hours of you knowing what to do. I can't
Yeah.
imagine if I were to really stick this out, how long. And I know there's some people that are going to listen to this that are going to go play that game. They're going to think it's super easy and they're going to be like, what the heck? I am telling you, it's been an absolute, just a dog struggle for me out there. I just can't make it through these things. So you're going to hear me and go, oh, you made it to level 3? 3. Uh,
Do you
it
like
took a
puzzle games,
long
Aaron?
time to get there, huh?
Do you like puzzle games?
Not, not really.
Because that's what I'm more thinking of it too. You're saying like people who are tinkerers. To me, it's someone who likes puzzle games. Like I like puzzle games. Like I'm not, obviously they're not like my number one favorite thing, but I generally love a good puzzle game. And to me, that's what this was. It was all about solving problems that I'm creating. So it's not like this game's like, oh, how do you get up to the top of the cliff? No, it's very much like, it's not like, yeah, solve this problem. It's problems I'm creating. How do I make this job easier? How do I make it so I don't have to keep making relays? I want the game to make relays for me. That's what I loved about it.
Yeah, but none of the items that are being introduced show you what it does. They don't show you what it does. So when you're getting an inserter, I might have an idea of what
Do you
it
think
does.
the
Like I
inserter
said,
inserts things?
okay. But like I said, you go over to the elevator. It's one of the weird areas that gives you like a hover over menu on it. So it gives you kind of like the kind of translucent instructions. And it shows you a purple inserter and it says something along the lines of like, you can move things from other floors here. So, oh, okay, cool. So I pop an inserter in there. That's it. End of instructions. So now I'm like, all right, what do I do next? Thank you. I know to put the thing here. Now what? Uh that's the type of stuff that was just driving me mad. Because I get it. You're coming from a person that's played it for 4 days. So for you, yeah, no duh. You just got to do this thing. It's very easy. You jump into Keith's game and you look at this and you go, you dumb. You just got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this. But for anybody else coming in blind, that's going to take you a long time to figure it out. And I'm sure once you kind of get like your first conveyor belt rolling, and you get your first smelter doing its own thing and you got things assembling all over the place, that probably feels amazing. Probably feels so good. And that probably is your drive to get to the next thing, to grow the thing.
Did you
to
never
build
do
it.
that?
Huh?
Did you have conveyor belts go into smelters?
No. So I was doing everything manually. So right before I kind of finished, because you made a joke, Well, I gotta, there was a group chat here between the three of us, and Andrew made fun of Keith for not using his conveyor belts, and then I made a meme, the side eye meme, where I was like, "Oh yeah, the idiot doesn't know how to use conveyor belts." The moment I said that, I was like, "I gotta figure out these conveyor belts." So I'm over there.
Oh crap.
I'm over here trying to do that, but then I'm like, all right, so I build this conveyor belt and I realize, oh crap, like my smelter is on the opposite side. It's by those minerals. All right, I'll conveyor belt over here. I set the conveyor belt up and then I'm like, all right, it's not spitting anything out. And I'm like, wait, do I have to put a generator next to that as well? Or I guess it sounds like the inserter was the key there. I needed the inserter. So I have a conveyor belt that's just running, but nothing's going on it. It's not doing anything. And that's where I was just kind of like, you know what? This game is just very frustrating for me. I'm not having fun with this. I'm just getting annoyed with it and getting angry. And I need to walk away from this. So I do have a conveyor belt that's moving. There is nothing on it.
Well, I mean, it is nice. You don't need to power the conveyor belt. It automatically goes.
Yes.
But what's not intuitive is with those inserters, like even if on a basic level you're like kind of trying to envision it, you have to offset the inserters by 1 square of the conveyor belt
Yeah.
for them to actually properly catch things that are going in and out of it. And you have to make sure that it's pointing the right direction because it can face in or out of the machine. That part took me a while to figure out. And it's so stupid because it's 2 directions. Well, I mean, really you can rotate it in 4 directions, but I was like, I know there's arrows pointing, like, do I need to point it in? Do I point it out? And like, you're playing this like on off switch game of like, what does this light switch do back and forth with the inserters? And I'm just like, I don't know. Again, once I saw how Andrew had it set up, I was like, all right. And this is what Aaron was saying. Like I played on easy mode. That's where, if you want to play on normal mode,
Was yours custom? I was wondering because there
I
was
wasn't
something
custom. It was easy.
Oh, I was wondering because I'm like, why is my gun not overheating? I was wondering if you were playing a different mode. Anyway.
But yeah, I went on easy mode. Like if you play on that mode, that should be like hey, here's a quick like video tutorial. Or would you like a video tutorial? Something along those lines. If you want to play the normal mode, that's fine. Take out the hand holding. But I'm with Aaron. I would like a little bit more because I saw I think I said it earlier. I saw the image of the factory. I saw it and I went, oh yeah, I see how that's set. By the time I needed to do it too, I had already forgotten that I had seen it too, is one thing. And it wasn't like it's a place you walk through. It's the starting area that you never see again. So it's not in your face. Like if that was in the main base of the first operating area that you could quickly like continue referencing while you were building it, it would be a lot more helpful. Or like that little generator or the hub thing that you're updating. When you go over to the other screen, there should be an opportunity to be like, hey, you've just unlocked this new technology. Here's a quick tutorial video on how it works.
But I loved it.
Yep.
I need it desperately.
Ask you, Eric, because I'm trying to understand your thought process. I can understand Keith, but Keith, when I jumped into Keith's game, I could see Keith was putting things together a little bit, just did it incorrectly. I just don't get you, Aaron. Like I don't. I'm gonna ask you questions. I don't mean to sound like a condescending ass, but I don't know how else to ask this. So you keep saying there's a ton of different tools. At the beginning of the game, they introduce you to 4 things. You know what a mining drill does, right?
Yes.
Okay, so it mines things.
That was a smelter. All that stuff was easy. Yep.
So you know what a conveyor belt does, right?
I do know what a conveyor belt does. Thank you.
So this is like how I'm surprised you got a like I said, I'm not trying to sound like a jerk, but I don't know how I'm trying to figure out your logic. What made you not think like, oh, maybe I need to build a conveyor belt to the mines, to the smelters, to smelt the things for me? Like where was the hang up?
Well, because I was still gonna have to grab them. Like I was still gonna have to grab the bars when they're done. To me, it was I did not think at that moment I needed conveyor belts. Keep in mind, when you're at the first level, you're not really sure how the game evolves. like, you kind of find that out towards you get to the end of the level and you realize you gotta do these drill bits to go to another level. Like, you go over to the elevator shaft, you see other levels, but at that point in the game, I still kinda thought like, "Oh, this level's gonna open up somehow." So then when you get, like, that gun, I was like, "Oh, this is gonna open up through a wall, and I'm gonna continue here." So
I
what
mean, the
I
drill
was
gun.
assuming the
Oh, okay,
cool
yeah.
heater blaster gun, whatever that
It's
was.
called the
That gun's
mole.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
that thing is actually pretty sweet. I actually kinda like that. That's a well-designed item. So, because everything is right next to each other at the beginning, I didn't think I needed really conveyor belts here because it was very easy to just kinda grab these things and go do it. It didn't feel like it needed to evolve to that point, and it wasn't until I moved to the 2nd level that then I'm like, "Man, I got a lot of good resources up there on level 1 that I still need here in level 2." And then I had kind of what Keith mentioned, kind of an issue where on level 2, you have to build like, you have to drill on platforms, and I had a hard time lining up the drills to the resources. Like, they were always, like, not actually in, and I had to do a ton of adjusting to, like, get them to where they were actually mining the resource, and I'm like, "What is this? Like, do I just not have it lined up properly? Like, what am I not doing right here?"
Here's here's
No,
a here's a pro tip that I noticed Keith did the same thing. Keith was building his drills on the 2nd floor on a platform. You don't need
Yeah,
to do
which
that.
that's wasn't that the instruction?
No.
What are you talking
So,
about? You were supposed to put things on, like, the iodite platform or whatever it was called.
the calcite.
yeah, but
Calisite,
that
see?
was
Thank you.
it was like it was like a specific thing, the crank charger.
Yeah, it was the charger.
Yeah,
And
the
then
crank charger, yeah, if you needed a
yeah,
Crank
but
power or
you're
charger.
something.
the resources were coming out of the wall and up in the air.
So here's a pro tip. Use your
Okay.
drill gun, which is called the mole. It's a black hole generator that, literally lets you dig. You cannot dig up resources. You can just dig walls. So if you ever see a copper deposit or an iron deposit, dig completely around it. Completely cut out the deposit. Makes it way easier to put your drills down. So Keith had his elevated because he thought the resource deposit was higher. But if you
Yeah.
actually just dug out, you could see that the deposit was actually lower. And so you just clear out that dirt, and there it is.
You know what would have helped with that? A tutorial.
It's and it's so like I think my biggest like where I wasn't following along, and I don't know if it's a fault of the game or myself. This is where I always struggle. Like I just don't know who's at fault because I just am naturally not very good with these styles of games. But was like, all right, I figured yes, from the miner to the smelter, cool, I need the bars. But I need the bars for like 4 different things. How much do I need them to go consistently to this assembler? But then I might need to switch them over to this assembler and like visualizing how to make that happen so that I could like turn it on and off without or making it work in the first place, and then B, not having to rebuild the entire thing because I realized that I'm just not really doing what I need to because I actually don't need to build the little crank gears. I can build this other thing, and that's going to be way more important. But now everything's going into these crank gears. It's just like that's where I was kind of struggling to build a picture in my head, and I don't think it's impossible. That's where I think it's a me problem. Is I'm like I just wasn't seeing the bigger picture of where I needed to go. So for me, it was easier to be like, I could just stop and control things. Be like, okay, I'll go grab this, and this resource and material, and I'll go put it in this builder. And then I'll have this other builder over here that's building this thing, and I'll collect the 3 things I need for that. And then I'll go put it in there. And that'll build like 20 of the things that I need. And I'll go off and do things in the meantime. And so it was still fairly automated in my mind. I just was moving the things I needed to in large quantities at one time. Whereas the conveyor belts were doing it kind of in time with how they needed to be built a little bit. And if anything, actually, the ones you built for me, not saying I don't appreciate it, but they were all getting backed up and they were wicked long. So it wasn't
Yeah,
as though
take that,
like
Andrew. Your factory
it, it,
sucks.
Well,
it
that's why
was
you're
like,
supposed to put storage crates.
well, and again, but that's this whole other thing of like, it's not that difficult, but you have to pre-planned for that, because otherwise then you're building a storage crate and you can do some cool things with the conveyor belts, and it's pretty, and it honestly it was pretty intuitive. I was actually pretty happy with the way the builder worked on those. I didn't find myself struggling with like when I was trying to go over platforms and the bends up and down and all that. It's pretty forgiving. But yeah, it was like all of a sudden you realize, man, I should be doing this to a storage crate that I don't have. I have to build one in some awkward manner, squeeze it in, and that's where I was just really, really kind of struggling
See,
with the overall build.
and I know where you're coming from, Keith, because that was my issue when I first played this game too. Of like everything I had was so wide, and I remember feeling the same thing. Of just like it just felt so daunting. Of being like, "Ah, like I got to bring my iron over here, and my copper from here, and plant matter from there, and it was just it does get daunting, and it gets even more daunting the farther you go. At most, an item just requires 3 ingredients. That's the most. So you can kind of plan that ahead too. And this is where I was okay restarting the games multiple times because I learned. I had a very inefficient factory. Everything was spread super far away. But me playing a bunch of games where I'm like, okay, I know in the future this is just super important. I better start building. Another tip for people is I recommend building up. So things stack very easily. So if you are building an assembler, let's say you're making copper frames and you want to make more copper frames, it's easier for you to just put another assembler above your copper frame assembler and just build up. Copy what you're doing by stacking things on top of each other. Because if you keep going wide, you eventually start running out of space, things start getting lost, it gets confusing. Another helpful tip, I will agree. I wish this game. This is one thing I wish the game explained. Did you know if you click the right stick, you kind of do a scan and it shows you an icon on all your assemblers and stuff what they're making. So at my game, I have like 50 assemblers going on. If I click the right stick, I can literally see a picture on every assembler as to what's doing what.
Sure didn't know that.
Yeah, again, a tutorial would have been really nice there. Now, I I do want to say, just because I know that we're kind of coming near towards the end here, and I don't want to sound like I just hated on every element of this game. That, like I said, the gun, the mole was really cool, but I do also want to highlight the music in this game is awesome.
The music in this game is so good.
Very, very, very good music. Just super chill music. It fits the game perfectly. So there was at no point that I was roaming around there that I was like, "Oh, this music sucks. It's really annoying. It's really
I know
grating."
I've listened to this music a lot and I still love it.
It's very, very good. So if there is like a big time highlight for me, it is the music, and visually the game looks pretty good. Like
I think the game looks
considering
beautiful.
yeah, I'm gonna assume these guys are kind of an indie. Like I would say it's beautiful, but also it's not breaking any new ground. You've seen alien planets look like this 1,000 times before, but again, not an ugly looking game. It's still a good looking game. Um, those
Yeah,
would
I
be the
think
2 areas. If I were to highlight something, those 2 areas are pretty great.
I feel like beautiful is a really like glowing remark for it. It's really nice. But yeah, I think I'm with Aaron. Like it's overall there's nothing groundbreaking up. In a lot of ways it's just like a lot of glowy plants that for
That's
lighting in a
what we've
cave
seen in a
under a
million
planet.
alien
And
games.
it's not bad. It looks nice, but there's nothing that I was like, wow, how unique these machines. They kind of, like Andrew said, has joked about a little bit. They look like they're supposed to look. There's, I don't know, they're a little bit steampunky, I guess, but also being techno, which, spoiler alert, I've never seen a game do steampunk before.
This is the
That
first
was
one.
very new, but it looks nice, and yeah, the music is awesome. At that point, I think the mole can be a little bit much if you're digging far. I guess there's not a lot of points you're digging super far. If you are,
That
maybe you're digging the wrong way.
that was kind of the exploration stuff that I wish there was a little bit more of. And again, that gun is cool. I also did not realize like what happened when it overheated. I didn't realize like it just blew up. So
When you blow up, it doesn't blow up.
mine was gone. I
What?
was like digging through
You
this
definitely
hall.
did something wrong because
I had to go build a new one, and then I was like, "Gosh, I gotta get the resources for this dang gun." Uh,
What? That's
So
never
I'm
happened
get
to me. I don't know if I never overheated my gun or something, but what?
so I
Your
thought like it
gun
would just
literally
do like
blew up?
it didn't blow up. It just didn't exist anymore. I guess. So there wasn't like an animation of it exploding or something.
Are you sure
But I
you
was
put it in a
going through
It
box
this
and explained
backfired
wall.
it?
and sucked
It,
itself into its own black hole.
it was getting high, so it was on the second floor. I like followed the river, and the river like had this area that it goes under like the rocks.
Yeah.
So I got to the other side and it's like, oh, I'll just open a hole here so I can get to this side. I don't know why. I thought I needed to be over there. This was very early when I got to the second floor. Again, thinking exploring was the thing I needed to do. So I'm blasting through that wall and like the percentage is getting high, but I'm like, oh, it's gonna like cool down or something like that. And literally, as I'm breaking the last thing, it hits 100%. It disappears. I like go through and then I go to use it again. I'm like, why does it say 0 next to it? Like, I don't have one? And I was like, wait, if you overheat, it just destroys your gun? So I was like, oh, I gotta go build another one. And so I was a little annoyed by that. So yeah, to
So
go try it. See,
you build coolant cells that make it also never overheat too.
well, you know what?
You didn't get that far.
A tutorial would have helped,
Well, you
but
didn't get that far. It would have
no.
explained it to you.
Well,
I
heck,
think I just
you didn't know that your gun explodes when it overheats. Now you know.
I mean, that must be new because that's never happened to me. I mean,
man, I had a whole bunch of coolant things that I think I just found. So that was nice.
so a thing I really also want to
I
praise
think I
this
did
game
too. I think
You
I
probably
had
just
that
didn't
too.
apply them.
No, I didn't know. I don't really know where they were supposed to go.
But another quick pro tip, just you reminded me. If you are like Aaron, you're exploring and you want to get back to the main area or the freight
Bother.
elevator. Yeah. Wait, what do you mean don't bother?
Andrew
That's
goes,
not a lot of
yeah.
space.
Wait,
No,
what do you
'cause,
mean
well,
by that?
I thought you were gonna finish kind of my sentence. You don't need to walk back. Press start and click respawn. You don't lose anything, and your character instantly teleports straight to the freight elevator. It's a free
How would
teleporter.
anyone know that? How would
I
anyone
did
even
figure that out
assume
because I got stuck. I had seen it in the
That's
menu,
why that's what I would
and
assume it was for.
I got stuck. And I don't even think I was stuck. I just couldn't figure out how to get into this hole that I fell into. I was like, I'm sure there's a way out of here. I'm gonna see what respawn does, and it brought me right back to the elevator. I was like, sweet. So yeah,
Which is
I figured
probably
that one
what
out by
that's
myself.
made for. It's probably not made for
Yeah,
Andrew's method, but
a free teleporter.
I mean,
yeah.
it kind of is, honestly, because I don't know. I guess there are certain points where it's like you go down. And I think you find a couple things down there, but
Yeah,
there's no really easy way out of it. You could kind of mole your
dig
way
your way
out.
out. Yeah,
Yeah, which as cool of a gun as that kind of is, it's not super efficient for like trying to dig your way up and out of something,
yeah.
because there are kind of weird blocks where all of a sudden you just can't destroy something that you think you can destroy because you've been destroying it for a while. It's like the riverbeds and whatnot.
The other thing I absolutely love about this game is the controls. I think the controls of this game are so good. Like, so Aaron, you played on PC, and I like anytime you're playing a game like this, I'm like, oh, this is obviously gonna be better on PC. I love this game on controller. It is so easy to do conveyor belts. Literally, you're doing a straight line, you hit right bumper to turn it. Oh, you want to do an elevator conveyor belt? Left bumper, change it to that. Oh, you want your conveyor belts to have a fixed height? Left bumper. Like it's everything. There's no tutorial on it, but it is so easy to figure out. I love these controls. And then eventually you get a tool called the replacer, because eventually you get faster belts, you get faster assemblers, faster smelters. You literally go up to your old smelter. As long as you have like the upgraded version in your inventory, you literally use the scanner and say replace it to level 2. Boom, instantly does it for you. It like everything about this game is so convenient and easy with its controls. There's never a moment in this game that I was fumbling with the controls and it was irritating me. It works so well and makes it so easy to make lines.
That's pretty nice. I will say if you saw in my map, Andrew, I had that one really, really long conveyor belt that went to
The elevator to nowhere. I was like, what is this?
It was supposed to be feeding the freight for the elevator. I don't know if I think I was doing it right, but
You weren't.
the best part is
You had your cores in the elevator. I'm like, why is there 50 cores in here?
It's a good holding spot.
I know. I thought you would
storage
go to
locker.
like the third floor. You had like a big collection of your tech cores there, but no, they were just sitting there.
I think I was trying to just like kind of start a thing of like kind of just get a natural conveyor belt that went out to the elevator in general, so that if I needed to go up or down with it.
It's
But
not a bad strategy.
I built that entire thing facing the wrong direction, so that the conveyor belt was facing like going away from the elevator to my base. And I rode that conveyor belt the entire way, double clicking like right bumper, which is rotate.
Yep.
Just
yeah,
square
you don't need to
by
delete
square.
something. Yeah, you
Yeah,
can
you
hit
can
just
just
right bumper and rotate it.
Yeah, I only had to do that to like 125 squares.
Well,
But I got to just slowly ride on my own conveyor belt and do it. So that was kind of neat.
That was fun.
And it's hard because we've played a lot of games, at least in some level of builder style, that don't even have that level of ease, that I'm like, man, that really is a nice feature. Did I enjoy having to do what I did? No. Would I have? And maybe on PC there's a way to do something like this where I could have like mass select and be like, I want this whole
That's what I was gonna say. You
bridge
didn't research it. When I jumped in your game, you literally research mass collect or mass deconstruct. So you literally can draw a massive line and just collect everything or deconstruct everything.
But
So
what if
I
I
did
just
that for you.
wanted to, what if I just wanted to do that, but I wanted it to just go the other direction? Because that's all I wanted. I wanted to select all that stuff. And
That I actually don't know. That I
Go
don't
the
know
other
if you can
direction.
mass switch that.
Yeah. To be clear, I did only play on controller. So whether I played on the Xbox or whether I played on PC, I played on controller every time. I have no real complaints with the controls. I have one. I have one complaint with the controls. And this to me is video game etiquette 101. Like, I declare it henceforth. If you have a
button is
jump,
Y.
your jump button is A.
Yeah.
It should be A, not Y. I don't care. Everyone knows jump is A. Jump is A, and should be jump in every single video game. This should not be up for debate. If your A button does anything other than jump, it can do both. Like, it might be able to do something else. Like, it can do interact, but
I'm gonna argue.
It needs to be jump. Do not make it Y. It's my only complaint on the controller. That Y jump sucks.
Nope, I'm gonna argue with you because A is collect, and there's nothing more annoying than
Then Y
having
should be collect.
No, because you do a
Got
lot
him.
of collecting in this game.
Yeah.
No, wrong.
But
They missed it.
You do not make those buttons the same. What game?
Okay,
Oh,
you're fine.
First
Then
Ascendant.
collect is Y.
That was the
A
game.
is jump.
It's not
First
further to hit
Descendants.
the Y. It's just
Remember,
that
we were complaining
A
about this in this
is
game.
jump.
They had jump and interact as the same button. And how many times were we like, oh, this is so annoying when you're trying to open a chest and you're sitting there jumping like an idiot trying to open the chest.
Hold on. I'm just saying, in video games in general, A can be two things. It can be jump and it can be collect. In this game, it shouldn't.
Nope.
Y should be collect. A should be jump.
I will agree if it's
yes. Everyone will agree.
Let me finish. Oh, don't be changing my words. I would agree with you if it was something where you're in danger. If I am running from gunshots or something like that, yes, A should be jump. This is a relaxing game. Literally nothing can kill you. There is no height damage. There's no food. Like nothing. There's no creatures.
Annoyance
Nothing
can kill me.
I was just going to say, what is less relaxing than constantly trying to hit a button because you instinctively know that it's supposed to do a certain thing because that's what that button does.
But
and
you guys
just
also
doesn't like if I'm writing an email and for some reason all of a sudden my space bar just doesn't do what a space bar does because now it's my enter key, that changes the entire flow of me writing an email.
That's way different.
No, A has been jump.
I'm
video
there
games.
on this because I had the same gripe. There's
plenty of games where Y is the jump,
and those games are also wrong.
Yep, they have failed. They have basic common etiquette of controller. Everyone knows this.
Well, technically, it's not jump. You guys didn't get far enough. It's actually hover. Y is actually technically hover.
I did get far enough, and it's not all that great either. It kind of stinks.
Eventually, you fly. So Y is fly.
And it's probably about as good as the hover.
No, it's flying. You literally go max height.
But is it as...
Yeah, Keith, don't try arguing with him. He's wrong.
I'm not wrong.
He's the master of Techtonica. Andrew, how are the achievements?
Oh my gosh. Don't
Oh,
get me
that's right. They
started.
don't even
There's no
exist.
achievements.
Andrew's played 4 days of
I
this
will
game, and
say,
there's not a single achievement
I
score
know.
in.
I know. Don't get me wrong. It
That's
hurts my
what I
soul a little
really
bit.
want to talk about.
Well, this is a 1.0 patch. So I'm doing all these things. So when the achievements do come, I'm gonna sign in that game and I'm gonna get an instant 1,000. I will 1,000 this game in
Nope.
1 second.
I would love it.
They're gonna
Yeah, if
release
there's,
it,
like,
and they're
one
going
that
to
he
go,
can't
oh,
get.
actually, this is another one of those patches where you have to start over.
No.
And you're gonna have 17 plus hours of gameplay. You're just like, well,
He would do it. He wouldn't care.
he would.
I know.
He
Yeah,
would,
I'd be like, all right, play
because
the
he'd also
game again.
speedrun it in 12 hours.
Well, time to beat right now for the story. It says 47 hours.
Jeez.
So might take you a while.
And like I'd be curious, and I know that that's an average, but I'm curious: is that 47 hours of conveyor play, or 47 hours of Aaron and me playing this game?
That's a good. I don't
Like,
know.
because like, and then I wonder if Aaron and I played co-op, how far behind and like say 10 hours would be from Andrew, just by being like, all right, we're going to work together to make sure that we're most efficiently collecting and transporting these things and being our own personal conveyor belts. How far behind you would we be?
Oh yeah, that was the other thing I really want to mention. This game has co-op. It's not couch co-op, but the co-op was great. I was able to jump into Keith's game no problem. Like
Yeah, I
he was
assume
just
you're
doing
on
his own
cloud.
thing. Yeah, I was on cloud. Jumped right out, jumped in, super easy, and we can go on multiple different floors. So Keith was working on the second. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna set up the first floor for him and have a nice conveyor belt of constant resources going to the second floor. This is a fun co-op game. I really liked it for co-op.
Yeah, and actually, one thing it did kind of nicely, that it's a very weird kind of niche, nice thing that it does, but it automatically switches between not online and offline, but solo and co-op. So like oftentimes if you're playing a game like this and you want to play like kind of open to your friends co-op, you're online all the time. You can't pause it and walk away. If I was playing by myself and you weren't there, I could pause the game and walk away from it and nothing would happen. I don't think there's really any time passing
There
deficits
isn't.
or anything.
Honestly, this game's kind of an idle game. I usually kept it up and let my things run and collect.
Well, and I mean, so there's something to be said for that. So maybe it doesn't even matter, which kind of weird that it's, I don't know, kind of a nice feature. But yeah, a lot of times games like this, like you have to just keep it online all the time. And I don't know, it just automatically switched out. Like when you were co-op, it didn't let me pause the game. So,
but we're already running long. So let's get into our final thoughts here. Because I mean, I still have a lot to say. So I'll say my final thoughts. I mean, I guess I'll just go first.
Might as well.
All right. So as I said, for me, Techtonica here, this is one of my favorite games. I absolutely love this game so much. I've played it a bunch. I'm at like 4.5 days. There's very little I complain about this game. My biggest gripes is crashes. The previous patches were worse. Like I said, this used to be a big open map. It would crash, but once again, this game loads super quick. So it was always like, oh, like I got to wait 5 seconds to reboot the game. The game auto saves like every 10 seconds. So almost never lost anything. I love that. To me, this game is just a blast. It's very tedious, but it was just a puzzle game of figuring out my logistics. How do I get this going? How do I get this going? I'm in a new area called Sierra. This is the part of the 1.0 patch. It completely not completely changes the game, but it does drastically change the game. You're building these assembly lines, but now you're in an area where sand is constantly filling up. You need to pump the sand out, and it's a big, tall cavern. So now you need to build your assemblies more up in the air. So now you got to build more vertical assemblies. And it's awesome. It's graphically, this game is beautiful. You're in a cave. Games that are usually underground usually kind of suck because they're always so dark. I don't know where anything is. Not this game. It's very bright and vibrant. I could always see things. Your character has a flashlight, but I never needed it. Everything was just bright and vibrant. I never got lost in darkness or got confused. For a game that's underground, that could easily be screwed up. The sound design is great in this game. I love the music, the voice acting. You guys only met the one character, but Paladin's German, great German accent. And then you meet Mirage, she's a French accent. Like they actually got these diverse characters and they all sound very good. Their voice acting's very good. it actually made the story compelling for me of these characters that are speaking to each other. You don't hear them all the time, but anytime any character was speaking, I would legitimately stop and listen because I actually enjoyed this game's story. I enjoyed its voice acting. To me, everything about this game is just a ton of fun. My only biggest complaint is that I still get some crashes, but that's about it. The controls are great, graphics are great, gameplay is a ton of fun. I've put so many hours in this game, and I can't wait to play more. This is a 985. I love this game so much. So you need to check out Techtonica. It's a small studio that's been making this game, but they've been working so hard on it, and I've been loving every patch.
So I still can't believe that Andrew has put as much time into this game as he has with 0 achievement score.
Yeah,
That
you have
still just
played more Brotato, a
that's
game
true.
where you're literally just moving around. You have put more time in Brotato.
I still don't fully think my hours are right on that game. I don't know how far they're off on it, but I
I
don't
don't know.
think they're
You're
right.
on that game a lot, and Balatro. I want to put your
I'm
Balatro time.
Oh, that one's probably pretty accurate. I've been on Balatro a lot lately. But anyways,
You just love games that start with a B.
I do, and end in an L. But I I mean, I'm mostly just annoyed that this game didn't have achievements because usually that's kind of my saving grace of some of these games that I play through. And I'm like, all right, at least I'll just grab some achievement score and carry on with it. But I didn't get that. I didn't even get that with this. It's a 1.0 patch. I was supposed to get achieves. So overall, though, my biggest gripes are this: that I do not do well with these games. I'm not I'm not efficient. I don't see the bigger picture. I don't know how to strategize building what I need to do. There's I think Crypt Keeper in particular was a game where there's a lot of building things, and I complained to all high heaven that there was no automation. But you know what? I think that it'd give me, well, it has automation now. If it had had that, I wouldn't have known what to do with it. And that's and playing a game like Techtonica really shows it off. It's a little more fun when I started figuring out what I was doing. I think a tutorial would have helped it. So I'm with Aaron on that one for sure. Sound is good, music is good, graphics are fine. I think it's still, yeah, and this is an 80. But I don't know if I'm just gauging that because of Andrew's 95 being so high that I feel like an 80 is low. But I think 80 is still a fair score because I can absolutely see I would recommend this game for someone who is like looking for a builder style of game, or if I was talking to someone like like Andrew, who I'm like, all right, I just kind of know this style of gameplay would be something you would like.
Well, as we've established at this point, I am the noob of this podcast, and this was not for me. It just wasn't. Um, I'm generally somebody, and it's usually with games that I really like. I don't like it being too handholdy, and I kind of went into this actually expecting this to be an exploring game that wouldn't be very handholdy. Instead, it was a factory game that needed way more tutorials. So I was in all sorts of a mess, kind of coming into this. So this game just isn't for me. It just isn't, and I didn't enjoy it. I struggled with it. I've had a lot of problems. I obviously have not played as much as Andrew has, so this is just me speaking from a noob's experience. If you are somebody like me, you might have a hard time with this one. Um, I was fully prepared to give this game a really good score, and then I remembered that the jump button is not A, it's Y. So in that case, I'm
Shut
going to give
up.
this game a 55.
Oh,
55?
55. The music was
Great.
great. But I was wildly frustrated with this game. Found it very frustrating to play, and was not having fun. I would say like the first 15 minutes were all right, fine. The first half an hour was okay, and then it became very frustrating. 55.
So I just looked it up. How much time do you guys think Keith has on Balatro?
oh, probably 14 days at least.
I have no clue. I have no clue.
I mean, there's days that so again, and there's days where I
You
have like
fall
my
asleep playing it.
I mean, that's happened before, but more so it's that there's days where I have it up on my Xbox like while I'm at work. And so it'll
Why?
run over there. What?
Why?
I don't know, between calls or whatever. Sometimes I'll just play a couple hands of it. So it's like on and running. So there is definitely a lot of inflated hours, but I guarantee you it's well over 14 days.
This is Aaron, what do you think?
I mean, he said 14. You're kind of laughing as if that's too small.
It
So
is.
I'm gonna say
23.
20 hours
No,
or
no,
20
no.
days. 20 days.
Let's say we're in days.
24 days, 17 hours.
Lee crap. Have you
Keith,
beaten it?
I
no,
mean,
Keith actually has 660 out of 1,000 achievements in the game. He has a lot.
Jeez,
24 days, Keith.
yeah, there's individual decks, and each deck has 8 stakes. I've beaten through gold stake, which is the highest, on I think like 4 or 5 decks out of like 10 or 12 decks.
That's just sick. You're sick.
I mean, I'm not going to say it's not a bit of a sickness. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you.
I'm surprised this podcast is surviving, Belatro. Barely, though.
Imagine if that came to Game Pass and you had to do an episode on that.
I mean,
Keith would be like,
we've already done a Patreon episode. The problem is that I could probably talk about Belatro for hours and hours, but I'm not actually that good at it. Like, it's
clearly
crazy.
you've played for 24 days and don't have all the achievements. Clearly.
No, I know, and that's what's insane. And like, obviously, like there's like a lot of people who make YouTube videos, stream that are like they're instinctively good at the games that they do videos and stream for or whatever. Like, there's people who do Belatro videos, and it's like they'll have like, here's my every single deck through every single stake win streak. And I'm like, that's like 200, like 35, 75 wins in a row. I'm like, I can't go 2 wins in a row just to start. Like, what's that? Like, how do you be good? The game is so RNG based. I'm like, how do you just be good at a game that this is this heavily RNG based? I know that I'm part of the problem. I just can't figure out what it is.
Didn't you also buy it on mobile? Don't you also have hours on mobile?
I might have beaten all of Gold Stake on.
Oh my God. I'm like maybe a day's worth of playtime, and I'm honestly kind of sick of it. Like, I don't know how you have so much hours.
I don't know. It is the next run's going to be the one. The next run's going to be the one. It's going to do it, and it can move so quickly. But anyhow,
all right, so let's wrap it up here. Go play Techtonica. Forget Belatro. Techtonica is the way of the future. But thank you all so much for listening. If you have any game suggestions, go to GamePassGrabBag.com or go to our link tree on our X, and you can find the links to all our things. Check out our wonderful sponsor, Magic Mind. They're a great product. We have a promo code for them, BAG. But yes, I've been Andrew. I've been your hardcore gamer host, Andrew. You can find me on Xbox Live at Firebird0952. I know I just said my name twice there. Thank you so much to our Patreon members. Nerd Talk Plus, Pop Up PTSD, Wood Jammin', and Squidkill. Thank you guys so much for your support. I bought a new microphone because the past couple episodes, I always notice my audio is very poppy. So I'm hoping this fixes it, or it's just my annoying voice. It just causes weird audio distortion. We'll find out with this when I'm editing this episode. But yeah, thank you for just checking us out. And check out our YouTube. I've been putting these live recordings on there. They're pretty fun. But yeah, Aaron, you have generally more important things to say than Keith, so go ahead.
I don't. You can find me on YouTube, Screen Test, if you want to watch movie-related YouTube shorts.
All right, that was good.
That's actually almost less enthusiastic as mine are. But I'm not going to beat it this week, so I've been Keith.
Try not to drag this thing out. End this thing, Andrew. End
Aaron
it.
wants to go to bed.
I want to go to bed. Hit the music.
Love you all. We'll see you again next week.
Good night.
I'm not doing